Tonight, the inaugural Peters Cup horse race is almost here. Are St. Lucians planning to turn out in their numbers? A man who lost his vehicle due to a fire is counting his blessings nonetheless. And Hot FM Communications Limited is set to bring good cheer to hundreds of children across the island. The details of these stories and more are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Thursday, the 12th of December 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. We're on Flow Channel 117, also being simulcast on Kiss FM Radio. Watch via our website, it's www.caribbeanhottv.com, or watch on our free Caribbean Hot FM mobile app. I'm Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. At last, the day is here for the inaugural Peters Cup horse race in Vieux Fort. And we at Hot 7 wanted to pick the brains of locals to find out whether they will be attending the event on Friday, and if so, whether they will be placing any bets. Here is what they had to say.
Well, the day that many St. Lucians never thought would come is finally here. And tomorrow, Friday the 13th, which is our national day, is the day of the Peters Cup horse racing event. So I'm asking you, the people, who's interested? Will you be going? And if so, will you be betting?
Will you be going to the races, sir?
No.
Will you be betting? You're betting.
No. Chasne, moi, avec madame n'est là souvent ngay bête. Qui t'a fait là? Est-ce chasne kay ko oui? Chasne kay stress là tout. Depuis qu'elle est ngay mais man vle monter là souvent là sans mec li. Yon way yon blanc.
I'm not really tuned to that kind of thing as yet. I'm not really focused on that kind of thing as yet. Still have other things that are more important.
I am not interested in that rubbish, that money-making thing. I need my money to do better things with it. So, no.
No, I will not be going.
Why?
I have a lot of work to do back home. That's the only reason.
But if you didn't have any work to do, would you have gone?
No, maybe. I mean, if nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, maybe I would.
No, I will not be betting, but I'll be performing as part of the grand opening, so I will be there.
So if it wasn't for the performance, would you have gone?
I would not.
You're not going, why you're not going?
Well, there you have it. You've heard what they had to say. Good luck to all those placing their bets. If you want a chance to have your say, join us next time. I'm Rochelle Gonzalez for Hot 7 News.
Thank you very much, Rochelle. The rapid advancement of the horse racing track versus the slow pace in development of the St. Jude reconstruction project has been a matter of much discussion by members of the opposition and members of the public in general. The opposition has even coined the phrase horses over hospitals to amplify their point. With the inaugural race scheduled for Friday the 13th of December, Minister for Health Mary Isaac has added her voice to the discussion and says the comparison of the two projects is like apples and oranges. Meanwhile, Senator Joachim Henry says the varied pace of the two developments is telling of the government's true priorities. Solange Alfred reports.
Minister for Health Mary Isaac is of the opinion that any outrage expressed over the pace of development of the St. Jude Hospital versus the speedy development of the DSH project is unwarranted. Echoing throughout the island is the uproar made by opposition members shouting horses over hospitals as a tagline to bring awareness to what they deem as the off-course priorities of the current government. The reconstruction of the St. Jude Hospital has been at the center of political debate for many years. And with the rapid horse track development in the south, opposition members continue to cry foul, alluding to a lack of empathy towards the people of the south in developing the health sector. Senator Joachim Henry is adamant he will not be attending the inaugural Peters Cup horse race. He says to do so would be to add insult to injury.
I'm not attending horse race because the government has ignored the hospital. And I'm extremely concerned that when you follow closely what has transpired, in 2009, Prime Minister in December following the hospital, 5 weeks after the fire, indicated, that's Prime Minister Stephenson King, that he would commence. He had received what he called a master plan without technical specification, but would commence the reconstruction of St. Jude in the new year 2010 and complete it within 18 months. The St. Lucia Labour Party subsequently took over of December 2011 and continued the construction. And while they found nothing when they came in, left behind 20 containers of materials, $27 million, plus 70% of the project advanced near completion. This government didn't complete the project, instead started demolishing the hospital to spend $100 million more. And then I'm being asked if I will attend a horse race. I spent 4 years in Jamaica. I never attended a horse race. I'm not into horse race. But even if I would take interest by just looking at it, I couldn't do this. It is to spit on the graves of those who have died in the hospital, those persons who continue to languish. And I have heard that horses are sick. I heard one horse die. I'm not too sure.
On the other hand, Minister for Health Mary Isaac says the pace of development in the two distinctly different projects cannot be compared.
I don't think you can compare apples with oranges. And I know that this is a project that has nothing to do with our healthcare as such. Some of the benefits, of course, will redound to, to healthcare, to better healthcare in this country. But this is a different type of project. It's like asking me whether a project under education is slower than one under health or something like that. A project is a project, and the project will be implemented at the pace that the project is supposed to be implemented.
As for the notion of investment opportunity and economic development in the South as a result of the DSH project, Henry swiftly shut down that assertion.
But the Prime Minister said that this would not generate any income. He said it's supposed to attract or magnetize investors. So he is doing this hoping that investors will come and invest as a result of a horse race, the horse race track. But after spending so much millions of dollars, if that's how we want to attract investors, we could have very well used our local horses. This is more in keeping with what we consider our rat race than any sort of issue of horse race for development.
So, will Minister for Health Mary Isaac be attending the inaugural Peter Cup horse race?
I probably will be, depends on what my schedule is like.
Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The owner of a rental car that was burnt in an Arundel Hill fire on Wednesday morning says regardless of his loss, he is thankful that he is still alive and well. He says he does not suspect foul play and reveals the effects of the loss are only minor.
One man is looking on the bright side after a Wednesday morning blaze cost him one of his rental cars. The fire occurred at Arundel Hill at an abandoned wooden structure, which was completely destroyed in the blaze. Going up in flames along with the wooden structure was a Suzuki which was parked next to it, belonging to taxi operator Augustus Charles, who said in the end, he is simply relieved that no one was hurt in the process.
It's unfortunate the house, it was an old house and I always park the car by the house, And when it was like after 4 minutes to 5, the guy was knocking my door, Ras, get up, look the house on fire, by your car, come and take out your car. When I went, I seen that the fire was so big, I couldn't take out the car, you know what I'm saying? So I just have to leave it to burn, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, but it's not nobody that burned my car. It's like they used to have a guy sleeping in the house. I think if he leave a candle, what he live in the old house, you know what I'm saying, and catch a fire, The car was mine, that was a rental car, you know what I'm saying? I do my little hustle and my little work with it, you know what I'm saying? So now I just, back to square one. But it's all right, you know what I'm saying? I still have my life and I can try again,
Charles said the effects of the fire are minor to non-existent.
No, it's not affecting me because I have a next car already, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just that the other car, unfortunately, I lost it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm okay for now,
Was it insured?
Yes, everything, yeah.
And so will everything be sorted out?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Charles operates near La Place Carenage. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
The impact of the Impacts report is still a topic of much debate as the recent celebration of Human Rights Day brought to light the slow pace and lack of justice following the report. Lone advocate for human rights Mary Francis has called for the formation of a Human Rights Commission and has received a sister-in-arms in the person of Senator Fortuna Belrose. Belrose applauds the perseverance of Mary Francis and says individuals need to take a page out of her book in championing the cause of human rights.
Attorney at law and human rights advocate Mary Francis has been described by Senator Fortuna Belrose as a lone ranger seeking justice for those who have had their human rights infringed upon. Belrose says the human rights advocate's call for the formation of a National Human Rights Commission has not gone unnoticed. Senator Belrose called for others to take note of the work of Francis and to use her actions as an example to foster greater respect for human rights throughout society.
She's been making that call for years, and I think what the society needs to do is to recognize that and rally with her with respect to human rights and respecting each other's rights. I think sometimes we lose sight of the real issues. You have to balance the discussion, and it is good that there could be a group of persons who can be the human rights advocates. There's nothing wrong in having advocates, in our society. She has been a lone voice in the wilderness. I think we need more people to rally with her, with respect to the issues around, and not just come selectively, on issues, but I think look at it in a holistic way and try to ensure that the society stays on course in terms of maintaining human rights.
Meanwhile, during a press conference held at the office of Mary Francis on the occasion of Human Rights Day Tuesday, she shone a light on the long-standing issue of the impacts report. The report revealed violations of human rights without impunity during Operation Restore Confidence conducted in 2010 and 2011. The human rights infringements caused the imposing of the Leahy Law on the island by the U.S. that restricts military assistance from the U.S. to St. Lucia. Francis says the long wait for justice is a shining example of why the National Human Rights Commission is necessary.
It's not actually condemning the police, but if the police have done wrong and they have gone outside of the law which governs policing and the Constitution, we have to hold them accountable. The days of impunity are over, because if we were standing and asking for transparency and prosecuting many years ago, I don't think we would have the impacts would have resulted the way it has resulted, the so-called Operation Restore Confidence. Is because the other thing again is that I'm saying politicians, the way they seem to actually see the issue of crime as to affecting their chances at the polls, and the manner in which they choose to address crime sometimes places a lot of pressure on the police to deliver, so these are issues also we have to bear in mind.
Francis has been the unfortunate receiver of criticism for coming to the defense of alleged criminals. This, Senator Belrose says, is a common misconception of human rights advocates. She says the bigger picture at hand remains the upkeep of human rights for each and every individual.
She's been focused on the criminals, but I think we need people to look generally at the entire society. And so that's where we need to get the balance. We need to get more people involved so they can understand the issues. And I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of education and awareness of the issues around human rights itself, because there are human rights issues across all sectors of the society. Within sports, within community, everywhere. There are issues of human rights that need to be respected. And so it's something that we have to band together as a society to get done. And there's need for a small group of people who can work with her and not let us see her in isolation alone doing the work that is required. But she's doing good work.
Francis calls for the creation of a National Human Rights Commission that can bring about a total restructuring of the judicial system. She says court cases heard in isolation will be a thing of the past, and the implementation of an independent investigation body is of utmost importance, as well as reshaping of outdated laws. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. When we return, Toys R Us at Hot FM Communications Limited with its annual Christmas sleigh ride. Holiday Taxi is calling on authorities to play a more active role in stopping the issue of piracy. That and more when we return.